You walk into a room, and before you've even said hello, you already know who's tense, who's pretending to be fine, and where the nearest exit is. You've been doing this your whole life, and for a long time, you probably thought something was wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. If content like this has ever made you feel less alone, consider subscribing. I make videos for people who are doing the quiet, serious work of understanding themselves, and I don't want you to miss what's coming. There's a kind of intelligence that doesn't get talked about in schools or celebrated at graduations. It doesn't show up on IQ tests. It was not given to you as a gift. It was built, slowly, painfully, often without your consent, in environments where you had to become very, very good at surviving. Psychologists who study complex trauma have started to recognize that people who grew up in unpredictable or painful circumstances often develop an extraordinary set of perceptual and emotional skills, not in spite of what they went through, because of it. This is what some are beginning to call traumatic intelligence, and if you're watching this, there's a good chance you have it. Here are 10 signs. Sign 1. You know someone is upset before they've said a single word. Not because you're psychic, because you learned to be. When you grew up in an environment where someone's mood could change the entire temperature of a house, your nervous system became finely tuned to microsignals. The way a jaw tightens, the half-second pause before someone answers, the specific quality of silence that means danger. This is called hypervigilance, which simply means your threat detection system was trained to be always on. Most people see it as anxiety. What it actually is a form of social perception so refined it borders on extraordinary. You don't just read people, you understand them at a frequency most people never access. Sign 2. You say sorry, constantly, for taking up space, for having needs, for existing in a way that might inconvenience someone. And here's the thing, you know intellectually that you don't need to apologize, but the apology is already out of your mouth before the thought has even formed. This is not weakness. This was once a survival strategy. In environments where your emotions or presence were treated as too much, learning to shrink became a form of protection. The reframe is this. Underneath that apology is someone who has an almost surgical awareness of how their presence lands on other people. That awareness, redirected, is extraordinary emotional intelligence. Sign 3. You can feel when something is wrong, even when everyone around you is insisting that everything is fine. The story doesn't add up. The energy doesn't match the words. And people tell you you're being paranoid. But you're not paranoid. You're pattern recognizing. You were trained in environments where the official story was often not the true story, where adults said, "I'm fine," and then broke things, where love and harm lived in the same house. You learned to trust what you felt over what you were told. That instinct has probably saved you more times than you realize. Sign 4. Asking for help feels almost impossible. Not because you're too proud, though that's the story you might tell yourself, but because somewhere along the way, you learned that needing things made you a burden, or that asking and not receiving was worse than never asking at all. So you became radically self-sufficient. You figured things out alone. You carried what should have been shared. And now you sit with this contradiction. You would do anything for the people you love, but letting them do anything for you feels like swallowing glass. That self-sufficiency is real strength. The work now is learning that receiving is not weakness. It's the next level. Sign 5. Your mind never fully stops. You analyze conversations that happened 3 years ago. You run simulations of everything that could go wrong. People might have called you a worrier, an overthinker, someone who needs to relax. But here is what's actually happening. Your brain learned early that being caught off guard was dangerous. So it started doing preemptive processing, scanning for threats, rehearsing outcomes, building contingency plans. This is not a malfunction.
This is a highly sophisticated cognitive strategy. The problem is, it never got the memo that you're safe now. The gift is a mind that is almost always 10 steps ahead.
Sign 6. You feel other people's pain the way most people feel their own. A friend tells you something difficult, and you don't just sympathize, you absorb it. Strangers in distress on the news can ruin your whole day. You have probably been told you're too sensitive. You are not too sensitive. You developed deep empathic attunement because you had to. Understanding what someone else was feeling was once essential information for your own safety. That attunement has made you the person others call when everything falls apart. It has made you capable of a quality of presence that most people spend years trying to cultivate.
Sign 7. You find it genuinely difficult to receive compliments, celebrate wins, or believe that good things will last. When something goes right, there's a quiet voice that says, "Don't get used to this." This is not pessimism. This is a nervous system that learned to brace, because in your history, good things were sometimes followed by bad ones, and hope had a cost. Psychologists call this a collapsed window of tolerance for positive experience. What it means in plain language is that safety itself became unfamiliar. The reframe? You are not broken for struggling to receive joy. You are someone who has to learn, slowly, to let good things be real. Sign 8. When you witness injustice, even something small, even something that has nothing to do with you, you feel it like a personal wound. You cannot watch someone be humiliated or dismissed and stay quiet. This intensity has probably gotten you into trouble. It has also made you someone who stands up when others look away. You know what it feels like to be on the receiving end of powerlessness, and your entire being refuses to let that go unacknowledged. That is not a flaw. That is a moral clarity forged in fire.
Sign 9. You are always quietly prepared for things to fall apart. You know where the cracks are in every relationship, every plan, every good season of your life. Not because you want them to break, but because being blindsided once, really blindsided, changed something in you. You made a decision, maybe unconsciously, to never be caught without a way through. This is sometimes called anticipatory grief, a kind of preemptive mourning. It is exhausting. It is also the reason you are one of the most reliable, most prepared, most resilient people in any room you walk into.
Sign 10. And finally, this one is the one I want you to sit with. You know how to survive things that would have ended other people. Not because you're tougher or better, but because you've already survived them. There is a knowledge that lives in your body, not in your head, that knows how to keep going when everything says stop. Bessel van der Kolk spent decades studying trauma and came to one central conclusion: the body keeps the score. Your body has been keeping score for years, and somewhere in that score is the record of every time you made it through. Every time the thing you were most afraid of happened, and you were still there on the other side.
Here is what I want to leave you with, and I mean this without any false comfort. Traumatic intelligence is real. It is earned. It is not a consolation prize for a hard life. It is a genuine form of human sophistication that the world has not yet learned to properly honor. But here's the open loop I want to close. Remember at the beginning when I said you've probably spent your whole life thinking something was wrong with you? The work isn't to erase what you went through. The work is to take everything it made you and start using it on purpose. You are not your wounds, but you are everything your wounds taught you. And that is not nothing. That is extraordinary. If this video found you at the right moment, I hope you'll subscribe. Not as a transaction, but because the conversation we're having here is one that deserves to continue. There's more to explore, more to understand, and you deserve to keep going deeper. I'll be here when you're ready.